Caitlin Clark just achieved a historical milestone, and in doing so made Sheryl Swoopes look extremely foolish. Caitlin Clark is putting together the greatest rookie season in WNBA history, and by doing so she is also making her haters look foolish. One person who has been hating on Caitlin since her college days has been Sheryl Swoopes. Her WNBA career was legendary, but newer fans know her as Caitlin's biggest hater. She has taken every opportunity to either ignore, downplay, or discredit Caitlin's achievements. However, you simply cannot deny what Caitlin has been doing. In a short period, she has already rewritten WNBA history. By the end of this video, you will see how hating on Caitlin Clark will leave you looking like a fool. Sheryl Swoopes' hating goes back a long way. In fact, she said that Angel Reese's game would translate better to the pros than Caitlin.
So will Caitlin Clark be a good pro? Absolutely. Will Caitlin Clark come into the WNBA and do what she's doing right now? Immediately? Absolutely not. Not gonna happen.
Okay. Now this was a ridiculous take at the time because Caitlin was regularly making history in college. And this take has aged like milk. Typically, rookies take a couple of years to figure things out, and this includes Olympians like Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young, and Sabrina Ionescu, all of whom took 3 or 4 seasons to get to all-star level production after being number 1 picks. Even prolific college scorers like Kelsey Plum and Kelsey Mitchell, who were the top 2 scorers in NCAA women's basketball history before Clark, did not burst onto the scene as bucket getters in the WNBA. Plum and Mitchell averaged 8.5 and 12.7 points in their rookie seasons, each shooting 34.6% from the field as they acclimated to the higher level of play. Meanwhile, Caitlin is averaging 18 and 8 with nearly 6 boards a game. Seems like her game translated to the WNBA just fine. Not to mention that she made the All-Star team and has resurrected the Indiana franchise. But one bad take isn't a big deal. However, Swoopes has made it a habit of trying to downplay Caitlin's skill set and having it come back to bite her. She found herself on the wrong side of history once again. It all started on April 8th when Connecticut Sun guard Alyssa Thomas predicted that Caitlin could lead the WNBA in assists. Her teammate DeJounte Carrington took things to another level by saying Caitlin Clark might lead the league this year. However, Alyssa Thomas responded with, "Don't play with me. Nah." Now this friendly banter could have ended right there, but Sheryl Swoopes had to find a way to hate on Caitlin. She replied with a laughing emoji expressing her doubt that Caitlin could ever achieve something like that. By now, Caitlin had made it a habit to prove her doubters wrong. If you guys recall, Diana Taurasi straight up told everyone that Caitlin was in for a rude awakening once she came into the league.
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
You know, there's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it. You know, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time.
Taurasi faced a lot of backlash for this comment, and many fans labeled her as a hater and that she was simply jealous of Caitlin, who is clearly the new face of the WNBA. However, Taurasi went on to double down on her statement and even called those fans sensitive.
Yeah, you know, it's the new fans are really sensitive these days. You can't say anything. Yeah, you know, it's kind of like when you go from kindergarten to first grade, there's a learning adjustment. When you go from high school to college, there's a learning adjustment. You know, I don't think I said anything that wasn't factually correct, and like anything.
But after all of that back and forth, Taurasi failed to beat Caitlin when they matched up. As for the assist record early on in the season, when Caitlin was breaking one assist record after another, there was no doubt that she would get the last laugh. She proved Swoopes wrong in spectacular fashion. On September 13th, the Iowa native not only led her team with 9 assists during a 78-74 loss to the LA Sparks, but also set a new WNBA record. Caitlin finished the regular season with a stunning 321 assists, surpassing Alyssa Thomas to become the league's assist leader. The achievement silenced any skepticism, with Clark showing that her talent is as undeniable as it is remarkable. Her performance marked another historic milestone in her budding career, proving once again that no lights are too bright for her. Her record-setting performance follows an earlier achievement when she notched 19 assists in a single game against the Dallas Wings back in July. After averaging 24 points, 8.5 assists, and 5.2 rebounds per game in August, Caitlin was named the Rookie of the Month for the third time, and August's Eastern Conference Player of the Month. And with this honor, Clark became the first rookie in WNBA history to earn the Player of the Month award. On September 4th, the Fever beat the Sparks in a 93-86 win, with Clark posting 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, marking her second career triple-double. During this game, she registered her 100th three-pointer made, making her the first to achieve in a rookie season and the fastest player in WNBA history to do so. It took her just 34 games. It was also Clark's third straight game with at least 20 points and 10 assists, equaling Courtney Vandersloot's streak from 2017 as the longest in WNBA history. And those are just some of her accomplishments. She also had some unbelievable moments this season. Clearly, Caitlin Clark has let her game do the talking in her WNBA rookie season. And speaking of Swoopes, she was also caught saying some blatant lies about Caitlin just a few months ago.
So if Kelsey Plum set that record in 4 years, well, Caitlin should have broke that record in 4 years. But because there's a COVID year, and then there's another year, you know what I mean? So she's already had an extra year to break that record. So is it truly a broken record?
What Swoopes is talking about here is the women's all-time scoring record that Caitlin set, and in doing so broke Kelsey Plum's previous record. However, Caitlin actually broke the record in less than 4 years, so Swoopes was hating for no reason, but it didn't end just there.
Like he or she's killing them, but you have a 25-year-old playing against a 20-year-old. Like, you should be killing them. Because you've been doing it a lot longer than they have.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but I know she can come back another year.
Here she is blatantly lying by saying that Caitlin was 25 years old when she was dominating in college, when in fact Caitlin is only 22 years old. At least if you're going to hate, you should do it cleverly so that it is not so obvious. But it doesn't stop there. Swoopes continued to misinform the public about Caitlin in order to push her own agenda.
Caitlin Clark right now probably takes about 40 shots a game.
Here we go.
I know you like that.
Hell yeah.
I said that because when she comes to the league, regardless of what team she goes to that has vets on that team, she probably ain't gonna get 40 shots a game.
Again, blatant lies. At the time, Caitlin was taking 22.3 shots a game, which was actually lower than the number of shots that Swoopes took in her college tenure. However, karma came back to bite Swoopes. Recently, Caitlin set another career high, this time in points. She dropped 35 points in a win over the Dallas Wings. Right away, fans pointed out that the scoring number was also higher than the career best performance from Swoopes. What followed was a series of posts making fun of how Swoopes is probably lining up another hate post about how Caitlin took more shots than her to achieve that career high. Like we said earlier, the newer generation of fans will only know Swoopes for her outlandish takes rather than her incredible basketball ability. The reason for that is simple. Swoopes doesn't seem to rate Clark very much. Prior to this, she took another swipe at the 22-year-old by saying she has better players than Angel Reese does, which is why it is more impressive what Angel has done in her rookie year. But her blatant dismissal of once-in-a-generation type of player is comical at this point. It is perfectly fine to criticize a player. Caitlin will be the first one to tell you that she is not perfect. She famously started her WNBA career setting an unflattering record. She scored 20 points in her debut game, but during that game she also committed 10 turnovers, the most in a debut in WNBA history. The losses also piled up pretty quickly. However, one reason for the slow start has to be the tough schedule. But at the same time, when you are considered a legend coming into the WNBA, shouldn't you be great right away? However, in order for your critique to have some validity, you also have to give credit where credit is due. Caitlin must be used to the hate by now. There have been a few instances where opposing players have hit her with dirty shots that should have resulted in ejections, but weren't. Not to mention the overly physical defense that is constantly being played on her. The type of defense that wouldn't be tolerated against any other player, but for some reason against Caitlin, it is fair game. However, when you're a superstar, you have to do more than win games. You have to generate views. That's just part of the deal. And well, in that sense, she has exceeded expectations. Not only has she been rewriting history on the court, but she is changing the way the organization does business. So at this point, if you are not standing with Caitlyn, you are the odd one out. And right now, Sheryl Swoopes is exposing herself and her bias with each one of her outlandish takes. Soon enough, people will know her as the Caitlyn Clark hater rather than the Hall of Famer that she is. And she's only going to have herself to blame for it.